The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 16th day of December, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. He's Larry Marshall Jr. And Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy morning, good brother. Happy Monday, good brother. Sorry.
Hey, good day. How are you doing?
I'm okay, man. A little under the weather, like a little stuffed up, but getting better. I'm not as stuffed as I was on Friday.
Yeah, even from last night, you sound better, I must say.
Yeah. I didn't have any coughing through the night. I didn't have to blow my nose, so I'm getting there. But hey, welcome back. You know what? This is the first time this month that I think I've had a co-host. So
Yeah, things happen. I think this is my first show since September.
Really?
So, yeah, it's been a while. I miss the audience. I lurk in the background sometimes. I comment here and there. I see the daily play. Okay. I still earn the daily play.
Because even Miss Competitive herself, she weren't too strong without you. I calling their names, but
Yeah. So but it's good to be back.
Yeah.
I felt a little nerve as the music was playing just now, I'll admit, but it's good to be back.
Oh, well, I'm glad to have you back. And I want to say, I think now that Leah Sherry is the missing person who ain't showed up to work in like 5-6 months. But we're not going to talk about Sherry this morning. We're not going to. Speaking of Sherry, she says, Larry, nice to see you, Mike. Yeah, then she says, Jamal. Farah Palacio says, morning. That must be a family thing. Morning. We've got David Michael Wilson. Happy week before the Christmas season holiday is all. And happy week to you as well. Karen Simmons says, morning, Jamal and Larry. So great to see you, Coach Larry. Long time not seeing you. Yeah. It feels good to be missed, huh? I just want to address something before we get into today. Look, we have heard that overnight there was an incident, and Maya will be bringing you more details with what she has. I don't know, but what I will say is, as we normally say on the show, it's really the only thing we can do is just sending love to the family and community, greater community impacted by the latest incident in Bermuda. So just wanted to address that. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we're going to discuss the government's plans for a co-op. Yeah, a co-op grocery store. And we might touch on the tip situation, which is just a weird thing. If you're on the internet or social media, you might know what we're talking about. The Daily Play is holiday trivia today. So Larry, you used to, do a thing. So let's, don't be like those other folks when they say, oh, see, I would have got it if I was on. Show up while you're here, right? Show up while you're here. I'm just saying. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve the community. All right, before we jump into today's discussion, do us a big favor. Make sure you give us whatever platform you're on, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, the web. Well, I don't think you could do it on our website, but just make sure you give us a like, a love, follow it, and do us a favor. It's the holidays, right? And one thing I was taught in my family is about giving, right? Why don't you give someone the link to today's show? Because it's a community discussion that we're going to have. And the questions of the morning, we'll put them up first and then I'll get into it, is what are your thoughts on a government-backed cooperative grocery store in Bermuda? What are your thoughts on that? And also, well, let me kind of read to you a definition, internet definition that you can all Google, because I think we've heard the term co-op for years, and a lot of people don't know what cooperative means, whether it's economics, groceries, business, entrepreneurship, whatever. I don't think we understand what it means. It's different from collaboration. Like collaboration would be what Media Maya and Daily Hour, or Larry and Daily Hour. That's more collaboration, right? Cooperative is pretty much the best way to explain it. It's like, actually, Ryan Robinson, parent chief, was on recently, and he spoke about the credit union. You kind of own the bank, is what that's the best definition without reading a online definition. But basically, it's a food distribution outlet organized as a cooperative rather than a private or public company. All right. So food cooperatives are usually consumer cooperatives where the decisions regarding the production and distribution, of its food are chosen by its members. So I like the overall meaning of what cooperative means. I get some of the concerns by the general public of this, and I think we'll go deeper into that. So what we're going to do over the next few days is really try to figure out, where has this been successful? Because there are people who say that the co-op previously in Bermuda, which I know my family was supportive of, didn't work because the people who now probably complain about private grocery and the cost of groceries didn't support it. And I believe it. I wasn't old enough, Larry, you weren't old enough to really truly understand it, right? To live it. But I believe it because as much as we complain about one thing, do we really support the other? Black people as a group, as a collective, we have a problem supporting Black business and Black entities. So I believe that if we own something, we don't even support ourselves, our own community. Why? Because we suffer from something where we don't want to see those we know doing well. We don't care about folks we don't know. So question of the morning is, what are your thoughts on a government-backed cooperative grocery store in Bermuda? And also a yes or no question. Do you agree with government entering the grocery space? Do you agree with that?
I'm glad you brought that part up second. Do you agree with a government entering the grocery space? I do not. I am okay with government backing or a government wanting the space for a co-op. I like the thought of government being the businessman. I think every time that comes up, it doesn't work. I go back maybe about in 2022, then the government proposed the vertical farming. And the farmers, they didn't consult the farmers at first, and the farmers wanted to sue, and then the vertical farming kind of ran away. And it just seems like that type of situation for me where, okay, government's going to get into this now. We heard about it with the digital bank, and now that building is being proposed as a possible hotel in Hamilton. So, I've always said that I want our government to to push legislation and to best support the people. And I think the best thing the government can do is make the island ripe for investment instead of being the businessman who's trying to create the funds for Bermuda.
Yeah, I agree with you, Larry. I think, and audience, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not quite sure government should be competing with private.
Agreed, yeah.
I think you just explained it, Larry, that the role of the government is to create legislation and policies so that businesses can thrive and that consumers can fairly be able to afford, to live within their community. I think when government enters this space, they actually show that they lack the competency to create a space for private business and consumers to grow and succeed together. I'm not quite sure this current administration if any one of us were to ask them, outside of maybe Zane De Silva, who has the expertise? And I know they like to say, well, we have, civil servants or public officers that do this and that. Folks,
that revenue is coming in regardless.
there you go. So I think it's very good. Look, here's the thing. I do think the government is genuine in this. Let me be very clear. I think the government is genuine in believing that this is going to help Bermudians. I think they're genuine. But just because they're genuine in this doesn't mean that it's going to work. Doesn't mean that it's in our best interest. And I think we have to be honest as people. Like, you know what? Maybe they just don't get it. Maybe this, again, there's an election coming up. It sounds good because, again, who do people look at as the big bad wolf? They look at the grocery stores. Despite how many times we've had Zach Manners from Lindo's come on and educate us on how grocery prices work, right? I think, I saw something online last week that the only people who complain about capitalism is those who don't benefit from it. I think that's BS. I think that's a lie. I think it's untrue. I think that the truth of the matter is that capitalism is not necessarily the enemy. It's those who exploit and take advantage of the system. Yep. Teo said it on this show. Anyone who has so much money that they can't spend it, why does that person exist as they do, right? So I think the government is genuine in believing that this will help Bermudians. I think where they fall short is that, one, that's not their responsibility to open a grocery store or open a bank or open a hotel, whether it's Grand Atlantic or get in the housing business. That's not your job.
I agree. And it's not like we're saying, hey, they give grants or assistance or provide buildings or spacing or, things to kind of be a supportive role, right? And that's very difficult because then kickbacks and things of the like, it can get in there. But I think when you're talking about, well, who will then run it? Government officials? Is the minister of grocery store gonna be in charge of? You got what I mean? Like it's like, no, I want my politicians to do more than trying to be a businessman, because at the end of the day, you have to do that. You have to do something else. You have to do something else. Government cannot give 100% focus to something, to a private business, right? Because that's what they're pretty much trying to do. But they keep trying to play businessman with the public purse, and that's very concerning.
Indeed. Well, let's go to the audience, Larry. Again, audience, what are your thoughts on a government-backed cooperative grocery store in Bermuda? And do you agree with government entering the grocery space? Well, Shamari Sky says the goal would be to eventually pass it on. It should be offered as a rent-to-buy option to the BIU or credit union. Okay. Sean Smith says no, doesn't agree with government entering this space. David Michael Wilson says it's a no for me as far as government involvement. Look what happened with the sugar tax. It's interesting because backstage I was speaking to Larry and Maya, and I said, Maya's very on like point with this stuff, right? So her first thing was, let me see where this has worked. And I said, that reminds me of the sugar tax, because when government came up with that, I said, well, let me see where this has worked. And I think one of the places I found that it worked, I could be wrong, but back, I was like 3-4 years ago, but I think it was Philadelphia, and how they use the money. The problem, the difference is in Bermuda is it was never going to work because of why they created it. Like, remember what I used the term genuine?
Yep.
I actually believe the government is genuine in this. I don't agree with it, but I think they're genuine. I don't think the sugar tax was ever genuine.
I agree. And it's very similar how I brought up the vertical farming. They referenced Florida as a place where it went. I mean, the company they wanted to do, I think, went down as far as being productive. But it's just, you question why. And I think it's easy to say a co-op, because I think when you throw out the idea, most people will be like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's go. But I don't think the person, the business behind it has to be thing. No, again, show us where it has worked. Has
Mhm.
previous governments done it? But that's not what they're saying. You know what I mean? So many of these initiatives that don't come to fruition, kind of, uh, the government isn't saying, "Hey, in this jurisdiction, this government done this, and that's what we're aiming to do." That's not what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the election promise. Come on, let's throw that out.
Bingo. Traveler he says, yeah, yes, if it assists those on financial assistance, therefore reducing what is spent at one particular grocery store. You know what? I'm going to hold that comment because I think Ian Waddington pretty much what he's saying here would be my response to Travel and Trotty is running a food market is very complex, time-consuming business that requires constant supervision. So no, I don't disagree. No, sorry, no, I don't agree. I think what Trotty is saying there in terms of yes, if it assists, there's some financial assistance. I go to that. The grocery market is very complex. And while we have a mindset, or we can have a mindset that we want to help those who have challenges purchasing stuff, purchasing things or groceries, we have to ask ourselves a few things. Where are we going to be getting the food from? Is it going to be locally sourced and produced? Or are we going to have to ship in? Because I think one of the biggest things that Zach Monis has said on this show that everyone forgets, correct me if I'm wrong, I know we have some folks that work at the docks here. Not only do we have to pay for the containers coming into Bermuda with stuff on them, but we have to pay for empty containers leaving Bermuda, the price of the pallets and the like. So I think I would need more detail in terms of how are we going to disrupt those costs of shipping to keep prices low. Does that make sense?
Excellent point, Jamal. And what I would add on to that, I would have preferred if the government would go and say, "Hey, how can we help reduce shipping costs?" rather than
Mhm.
try to come in and be a business competitor with a private entity.
There you go. Like there's, I mean, is there other opportunities to collaborate with grocery stores and even what they're called the wholesalers, right? Let's go back to the comments. We've got a lot. Keep them coming, audience. Farah Palacio says this just feels like a vote grab moment or something. I honestly feel like if they really wanted to do something about the cost of groceries, I personally don't think this would help. Karen Simmons says, no, don't agree with government entering the grocery store business. Charles H. Jeffers II says, I agree with everything Larry said, as well as Farah Palacio. I agree with Larry on this for sure. Indeed. And Sean Smith says, government has an easy job. Ask the private sector what they need and pass the laws to make happen. It really is that simple, you know. It really is that simple. But when you've created this narrative that the private sector or private entity is the enemy of the people, and that all they try to do is take advantage and exploit the people, I'm going to be honest with you. There are a lot of businesses within the capitalist system that exploit. We know this. But I don't know a bigger exploiter than when those who are in government need votes. You want to see exploitation? An election year will show you exploitation.
And it's clear as day because we had about 3 or 4 things happen in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, "Oh, okay, no," and we've been saying it. They're gonna dangle the carrot and excite
Mm-hmm.
people, and
Mm-hmm.
it's actually a smart move by the government because they gotta garner up support. They gotta say, "Hey, this is what we're doing." So it's the strategy, and to be honest, it's a strategy that worked because they win with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works, Larry, and that's sad thing for me. It works. Derek Hendrickson says, I can't articulate it better than Larry just did. Additionally, the optics will be bad. Sean DeShields says, How will government entering the grocery business be any different from how tourism, terrible road conditions, gaming commission, and bus services are operating? You know, I remember, thank you so much for that, brother Sean Shields, because I've been waiting on someone to say, name one thing that they've been successful at by taking it over. I mean, they're trying with the postal service thing, and that went to court. I don't believe they were successful. They were trying to do something up Morgan's Point. People were up in arms like government shouldn't be getting into this business. I don't, again, audience, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't get it. But I just don't think that governments should be utilizing your money or our money to get into business, especially when they've proven, given some of the examples that Sean DeShields just gave, they can maintain our roads. Tourism is in the hole. We still don't really know what's going on with the gaming commission. Can we get a bus schedule right yet? I just think, you know what? Let's go through these comments. We've got to bring Maya in. She's got a lot for us this morning. Suzanne Ingham says, no, I don't agree with government entering this space. They destroy everything they have holds on. No, they've done enough damage poking their nose into stuff they shouldn't be in. Nicole Hassel says, I usually don't agree with anything this government does, but I do agree with this one. Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that, Nicole. Michael Daniels says Bermuda needs to find a way to have greater clout in the purchasing market. He goes on to say Bermuda could sell water on the voyage back to the States. Here's the thing about Bermuda having bigger clout. I think the reality that we need to face as Bermudians is we're not even a dot on the map. I think Sir John Swan, what he did for Bermuda was so unbelievable that we actually think we're bigger than we are. Like we're like that scrappy dude, not even of countries, but just of small jurisdictions, right? And we have to come to the reality that majority of the world doesn't even know we exist. To have purchasing power, Sancho says it all the time on this show. We need the right people in the rooms. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure we have that. So read this last comment before we go to the news break. We've got Farah Palacio saying, if they were good with business, we really wouldn't mind. But Sean is right. They have proven time and time how bad they are. And I think this is the greater concern for all of us, folks. I think it is. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break. Sure, she has a lot for us today. And if you've appreciated the discussion so far, do us a one big favor. One favor. It costs you about 5 seconds. Whatever platform you're on, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, YouTube, or our website. Well, I can't do it on our website. Just give us a like, love, follow, share it. Make sure you give us something on the social media platforms. All right. Let's bring M to the P in to see what she's got on this Monday morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, M to the P. How are you?
I'm laughing right now because it just looks so obvious that we're all in Bermuda.
Yeah, it does. Yep. We are all in Bermuda. Well, I mean, we've joined Larry in Bermuda, folks. We've joined Larry in Bermuda. Yeah.
Yes, true.
How's the sound? No one said anything about my sound. Is it good this morning?
I feel like it's doing pretty all right.
Okay.
I'll defer to Maya's expertise in that.
Okay, perfect.
I did notice the difference though when Suzanne was bringing it up. Like, yeah, I heard it
last week. Yeah. I had some, my dad brought it up as well. We had some challenges, folks. It happens in this space. It happens. M to the P. So grocery stores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I explain co-op good enough? I know I read it pretty fast, but I think Robinson, parent chief, when he came on, his breakdown of what a credit union was so good. I was trying to kind of use that, but I don't want people to think it's collaboration. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between cooperative and collaboration. But not sure what young people think, but co-op was around before you did it close before you came about?
But easily, it had to have my answer.
Yeah, I recall hearing about it, but I definitely wasn't one of the times to shop in it.
Okay, I'd like to know what the Media Maya base feels about cooperatives. Especially since they didn't grow up going there or experiencing it. To see, I think everybody's opinion's valid in this, especially if it's their tax-paying dollars that's going to be used. So yeah.
I mean, definitely, but it's hard to really formulate an opinion on something that either you don't know or haven't been taught about, right? So getting the ideas out there will probably be the first step. So definitely want to bring it to the attention of the audience as to what it would look like. Definitely want to see how it's benefited other countries, to see how it can possibly reflect and what it could look like here in Bermuda. Yeah, that'll probably be the most ideal pathway to go down.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is your daily hour news break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. We're starting our news this morning with some tragic news that happened early on this morning. So a man was found unresponsive with a gunshot wound in the early hours of this morning around 12:45 a.m. He was lying near an unattended motor car with the engine running on the roadway along Tribe Road number 5 in Paget. Now, EMTs were on the scene and commenced life-saving efforts, which continued as the victim was transported to the hospital for further treatment. A forensic support unit attended the scene and recovered the evidence to suggest a firearm had been discharged at the location. However, there were no reports of gunshots in the area. So an investigation into the matter is now commenced, and anyone with information or who may have seen anything suspicious activity happening prior to the incident occurring is encouraged to call the police on 295-0011.
Very sad, especially on a Monday morning when you have so much good stuff to share. That's what we have to begin with. But as I said at the beginning of the show, my hope is that just sending love to the family and friends and greater community, and healing energy to the victim.
Indeed. Now, flipping the script over to a very different story indeed, but 100 pigs were left on the island after a passenger plane was diverted on Friday, December 13th. Apparently, a KLM passenger plane with 250 people and 100 pigs in crates traveling from Amsterdam to Mexico was unexpectedly diverted to Bermuda's Alafrate International Airport after noxious gases allegedly affected the flight crew. So coming from Skyport, and kind of a humorous statement, they said, why did the pigs cross the ocean? And it says to spend Christmas in Bermuda. So the Bermuda government, Menzies, Delta Airlines, and Skyport worked closely to ensure the pigs were treated humanely throughout the ordeal. This unexpected event adds a curious chapter, actually, to Bermuda's history. Wild pigs were among the island's earliest settlers, their nighttime grunts mingling with the haunted calls of Bermuda's cows to create eerie sounds that mystify earlier sailors. So the Skyport spokesperson did say that thanks to the excellent collaboration between KLM and the Delta Airlines and local partners, both our 2-legged and 4-legged visitors are safe and well cared for, even if it wasn't quite the Christmas vacation that they had planned for indeed. So the flight did depart Bermuda already, and the pigs are now long gone.
I didn't mean to laugh.
We're on in people's ovens.
I'm saying, man, you all, Bermuda, there's a kind of story where I actually went under the comments and I loved to read what I'd read. Like, people would just nonstop jokes. Like, it was, folks, can we get more stories like that? And props to Skyport for making light of this and bringing that kind of energy to Bermuda at this time. And also, thank you to the pigs for, whatever they were going through to make sure that you stop by to give Bermudians the humor that we need. Now, that said, Karen Simmons made a great point. Will there be the new pigs at the back? We didn't have pigs this year at the exhibition. Remember?
Hey, don't start.
That's the highlight of my exhibition. So I hope that a deal was struck between, some of the pigs, if they're not going down to be somebody's Christmas ham. And, but I'll say this much. I'm I'm glad Maya brought up the history of, some of the first settlers being those hogs, right? Because maybe the pigs, right? You know how black people look to Africa as home. Maybe the pigs look to Bermuda as home, and they were just trying to make. That's your morning joke, everybody.
Got to give the credit to Skyport, though. They definitely added that little piece of history in there, too, in their press report. And I was like, oh, that's actually a good segue to bring that into, because that was a big part of our history. I remember learning it in social studies and stuff like that growing up. So, yeah, that was a big part of it.
Yep.
Right. Moreover, in different news here, transparency and accountability comes with a price. The Public Access to Information Amendment Bill will enable the government to charge $60 per hour for any request that exceeds 16 hours to research and compile, and requests that take more than 100 hours to complete can actually be rejected. Now, this is coming from Misha Fubler, the Junior Minister of Cabinet Office, introducing the bill. In his remarks, the main reason was the lack of manpower. Apparently, some of the 1,200 petty requests made in the past 9 years has led to high hours of research, and workers are scourging through files upon files to get the answers to petty requests. So the solution? Make the public pay and reject requests that can take 100 hours to complete. So the One Bermuda Alliance actually did speak against this as well. And in an article from the Gazette, the Senator Dr. Decudo pointed out that despite claims by the government that it had carried out a consultation process before drafting the bill, it had been condemned by the Information Commissioner Gutierrez, whose office sees petty requests. And you may also recall this 9 months ago, actually, Jamal, you had this conversation with the commissioner, and they also talked about where they stood on this issue. So here's a brief mention from that clip that happened 9 months ago. Here we go.
So that was initially a proposal that was put forth by the government. Our office took a strong position against that there should not be a fee attached to exercising the right to make a patty request. The act itself says that there shall be no fee for making a patty request. I think the government is understandably concerned about some of the burden and time it takes to respond to patty requests. And that is, when you're looking at making the process more efficient, I think that there's a lot of training available for information officers. Records management is improving, and having the conversation with a patty requester to make sure that a public authority understands what you are looking for and can help you sort of focus a request so that they can respond to it is one way that we can avoid putting any kind of financial burden on people to ask for public records.
Couple of things. One, this seems targeted. I don't think it's about the general public. I think this is about the media. And if you can make it more difficult for the media, then you probably get less requests because people have to budget now, right? That's one. Second thing is, maybe if the government entities were running in a more efficient and transparent manner, there wouldn't be so many requests. Third, when this and I believe it was former Premier Alex Scott that first mentioned this, but it wasn't pushed through until the OBA got in. I could be wrong. I'm not quite sure the idea was to make it difficult. And it should have been budgeted to have people there to do this work so that you don't have to one day charge them. They can find other ways to make money without charging people for public access to information. That's ridiculously stupid to me. No disrespect to Misha, but don't let them do it to you. That's my biggest concern when seemingly good people get into politics. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Efficient way you find things to make it more efficient, but to charge people, one of the biggest things to hinder people from that will be a financial piece. And as the commissioner stated, it's in the act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. So, yeah.
Definitely. Oh, I plan to go out into the streets today, actually, and talk to the community about this and see what they feel their opinion is on having to pay a fee for petty. There is actually, because the commissioner does put out statistics yearly, Jamal, as to who actually sends in petty requests, like whether it be news, media, or the public, and what the majority is. So I'll get that as well and bring that forward just to see like who it may be affecting the most as well. So we'll definitely get more statistics and stats on that, and I'll reach out to the government too, because there are some questions that need to be answered in regards to where they got the price point from. Because I even recall in university, which they called the freedom of information, when we were, being taught how to send these out. And when I sent my very first one here in Bermuda, that it was about $5 to make your petty request or freedom of information request in Canada. Granted, it was Halifax. I know it's bigger than Bermuda, but it would be interesting to see the price point of how we got there.
One quick thing on that, and Shanna Williams says here, the focus needs to be make the research process more effective by using technology. And I was thinking,
efficiency.
Yeah.
AI, legit, folks. If I told you what I use AI for right now, you'd probably be like, wow, you must have a lot of free time. AI will change the way things operate. But of course, a government that uses more AI and technology loses votes. Read between those lines.
Well, heading into one of our main stories this morning, according to TNN, there's been a public outcry for grocery store businesses to allow a fairer option for accessing money for grocery store packers. Now, let's hear some details and some statements behind this story that popped out. Here we go.
Packing groceries. It's one of, if not the very first job most young Bermudians have, working after school or on weekends, earning a few dollars to save up for personal needs, help support the family, or other means. Well, an unspoken Bermudian rule for the shopper is to tip your packer. But in the age of tap and go, a new alternative to cash has emerged: topping up gift certificates. A recent post by TNN last week led to an open dialogue of a parent expressing concerns over the gift card tips. This is a system where a customer can choose to top up a packer's gift card if they so feel. Now, a gift card that belongs to the establishment of the packer. The concern: tipping on the card takes away from the packer's choice to where they get to spend their money. The top concern in question was for seniors who pack and may want to use that money for other needs like medication. Now, some people came to the conclusion that this new form of tipping has been enforced and as a way for the companies to retain the money, but in actuality, it's not enforced. In fact, it's an annoyance.
Now, we can't stand it as a company because we spend a lot of time fixing mistakes that the cashier makes. So that we never came up with it. Like, that was a transaction between the packer and the customer. We allow it, right? Because, like you said, a lot of people don't have cash, and it's one way to give them something.
A packer with 6 years of experience talked about what they have heard as grievances around the topic matter for seniors.
I've definitely heard, like, some of the older packers, they're not happy about it because, like, like I said, they can't spend the cash how they need to, but, like, at the same time, even though the money on the card gives them money to buy groceries, they'd still prefer cash because between $2 in cash and $2 on card, they'd take the cash.
So, when did this all start? The timeline's a little tricky, but an associate of Marketplace expressed that this form of tipping started around 4 to 5 years ago. It came about when a customer bought a gift card for a packer when they didn't have cash, and the trend continued to other stores across the island. So no one is forcing customers to top up instead of paying cash, but due to the decline of cash on hand, having the top-up option does take away the guilt some customers may have when they don't have cash. So instead of giving nothing, they can still give something.
It's not a bad deal, right? It's convenient. Like, you can put as much money as you want on those things, right? So yes, you do have to spend it in the store, but like I said, you could sell it to somebody else if you wanted to. It's not like this business about us making it mandatory so that we have to force everybody to spend the money in the stores. That's total baloney. And it was, again, if I would prefer that 100% of it was cash, because the admin work is a real pain
I also spoke with a first-year grocery packer, Mason Whitehead, and asked what he preferred to be tipped in and how he feels about the tipping options.
I mean, either one's fine. The cash is more preferred though, but the tips do help me because I could provide groceries with my family and I could buy snacks while I'm working. I'm not really complaining because either way I'm getting paid, but I see the concern because if I'm getting tipped on the card, then I can only use the card in there. So either way, the grocery store is making the money. But either way, I'm getting paid, so good by me.
Did any of you grocery pack when you were younger?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you guys grocery pack to?
I'll be honest, it was probably like for 2 weeks, and it was at that store, A1 grocery store.
You ain't really packed if you did it for 2 weeks, man.
Look, I started braiding here immediately after Marshall, and that just made me more money. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I packed Marketplace, Hamilton Marketplace, A1, Smith's, and Linda's.
Okay. I packed at Supermart for a couple of years. My family didn't even know that's what I was doing for a bit. But what happened is, and this is just me throughout my life, I just wanted to be able to get stuff without asking people. So I went to pack. What I had heard is Supermart was the only store that paid packers.
Yeah.
And it was 50 cents an hour. 50 cents an hour. Now, why do I bring that up? I bring it up because it's almost treated as a crime to to tip in the US some places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll have signs and so on. But Zach said something that I really want people to understand. This goes to our conversation earlier as well, right? Remember I said that grocers or business is always looked at as the big bad wolf. When he said, and I hope you all audience, you felt what he said when he said this, we would rather not because it adds more admin to us. That part right there should help you understand that running a business is not all about taking advantage of people. And the way he said it started. So I just want people, because we have a tendency, Maya, to go on, we see a news story, we read the headline, we don't even read the full story. And then we go in the comments on these, websites or whatever, wherever the story is, and we just start blowing off at the mouth.
Yeah.
We all have opinions, understandable. But folks, I'd encourage us to dig deeper. I really would. Now, I only learned about it last year or year before because I don't carry cash. Most of us, I don't think, do at this point. So I asked, I don't have cash. They said, they have a card system or what, right? So I said, okay, cool. And I used it. Did I know it went to the grocery store? I didn't. But guess what that we have? And my conscription's coming in here somewhere. But guess what they have? Grocery packers have a choice. They don't have to be at that establishment if they don't want. They're not forced. That word was used in that story Maya just done. It's not forced upon them. Yeah. So I just want us to be very conscious and aware when shooting off at the mouth. Just because we feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that's how it actually is. Sorry,
yeah. Just real quickly, I don't like it. There's a lot of things with grocery packers that I don't like. I won't get into too much of that. But things come. I like to try and carry my cash, but if I just go last minute, hey, you got to pack after work, I ain't got no cash. All right, it's the last option. It's the better option. I prefer to have the cash to give out, right? Sometimes I'd even avoid and go to the self-checkout so I don't have to, interact with a packer and feel the guilt. But let's just say, it becomes a thing and the grocery stores decide, all right, we're getting rid of it. Who does that hurt? The packers may actually really want it. And whatnot. So I agree with Jamal, just morphing off, not really understanding, talking more and doing things and seeing how it can be better is better than just, a reaction to a catchy comment.
Yeah.
Or headline, sorry.
Yeah. Maya, real quickly, we've probably done this only once. We're going to take a break and I want you to continue your news break after this. All right. Okay, 3 minutes, 7 seconds. Don't go anywhere. She's got more for you, folks. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild. But shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
You won't miss out. Noah's Ark is open 7 days a week for the holiday season and with big savings. Whether it's everyday essentials like dog food or cat litter, or those items you've been eyeing all year like aquariums, our huge 8-page holiday flyer is out now, packed with incredible offerings until December 31st. And we're open every Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. through to December 22nd. Visit noahsark.pm, view our sales flyer, and join our rewards program. Noah's Ark, your reliable pack care specialist, making your holidays even more special.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. My applause is still here with the news break. I'm Jamel Hartman. Larry Marshall Jr. is in his house. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on the website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Let's continue. You have more in the news break, obviously.
Yes, closing up with that story there earlier on, one of the things that was also mentioned, we're talking about the Packers now and grocery Packers, was that some people wanted the companies either to like do a buyback system or maybe exchange what the money they had on the cards is for cash. But Zach also mentioned how, like, you know, that's taking us out of the business of being a grocery or not a bank. Like that's like completely doing something again, just different. He also said, like, if people are, you know, very concerned about whether to be parents, you know, you could also buy the card off of your child, or again, for those seniors, selling the card to someone else for the cash that you require as well. So yeah, again, the main reason that came out of it, of course, cash is probably the most accepted things that any pack would want, but it's still nice to have that secondary option, because other than that, another packer said that most people, if they didn't have it, they'll just be like, oh, grab chips or grab soda or grab something else, when in reality, like, sometimes it's not really what they want, but they're grateful, but they would prefer, okay, then just put the $2 on the card then, so I don't have to get the chips and I can actually buy groceries, like, you know. So other options as well. All right, so leading on to our next story, closing out, is the old Bermuda making a comeback? Let's listen in.
I'm 26. I race bikes of 8, and we got Kenny Island back.
a goal that has been in the starting blocks since 2019 for 26-year-old Jerry Mitchell has come to light this past weekend, reviving Coney Island with over 100 racers and an enthusiastic crowd despite the setbacks.
We had a lot of objections from certain people and certain people in the community that didn't believe that this is a good event for our community. And it's been a long road, but it happened.
Mitchell thanked the over 200 people who stood beside him and helped to push this event to the public, making a dream a reality. And he urges more people in government to take a chance on young Bermudians aiming to make an impact.
I think it's a success, and I think the people in government that pulled these strings came here, they saw it as a success, and we should have more opportunities and less pushback when we do come to the table with stuff to do, because it's our turn now.
Reiterating the statement was expert writer Zymer Darrell.
I like that. I actually support that a lot. I wish the government would actually help out a little bit more, give the motocross club, the kids, some more shine.
Some members of the community remarked that having the race back felt like the old Coney Island from back in the day, and that it was a true moment that felt like Bermuda is back.
To me, it meant less than what it meant to the public. Everybody went to see Coney Island. Everybody loves motocross, scrambling. It just meant more to the public than to me. I'm just able to do it.
Yeah, didn't get to make it down, but I was happy. I was excited. The amount of people who shared, I have not seen that many people share a local event on social media like that outside of Cup Match, where people are really showing themselves, like showing the actual event. I could not tell you in probably ever. I mean, when I say people of all, it probably, I don't know how we measure things in Bermuda, Maya. That was probably the most shared local event I've seen on my social media channels, on mine personally.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for them.
It's interesting because I'm not a motocross guy at all. I went Cooney about 2 or 3 times and was standing around and like, okay, I don't get it. And one of my best friends is really good at it, right? But people were taking, like, it was generational. People that were bringing their grandchildren and children, and it was, yeah, it feels like nostalgia and this, and it was so many people. The picture of the car of the Bayless Bay Field where the car was parked, it was packed. It was like it was a Eastern Coney crowd at Coney Island, and it's nice to see, you know, those types of events need to happen a lot of times in Bermuda. We ain't got nothing to do, and if we're honest, the atmosphere at Southside just doesn't get it. It hasn't been the same, right? I actually went on there once too, and I was like, this is even worse than Coney Island. But I recognize that for so many people, it's such a big thing, and I'm just happy an event like this was able to come, and it went fairly smooth. You didn't hear about no anything happening and things, and I don't know, you know, it's supposed to be a one-off event, but maybe that's something they have to. I know the environmentalists have their piece, but at the end of the day, that is a huge event. If they can get those crowds regularly, we're talking about local revenue being like, come on now. They bring overseas riders. Coney Island always had a great crowd when the overseas riders came in. Hey, it might have to be.
Indeed. He did say that there was some stuff. Sorry, go on, Jamal.
No, go ahead, man.
He said, well, he did say there were like things that are actually being put into the works. So he said, you know, keep an eye out and, you know, anticipate some things coming forward. But yeah, it was a huge crowd. I unfortunately wasn't able to make it to see all the races. I got there right at the end as I was up helping Big Brothers Big Sisters all day. And I got there, the crowd that was just like coming toward me, I was touched. I mean, I never got to experience those days at Coney Island with the middle course, but the amount of people that were there, it just felt good to see community like in like huge numbers supporting this. And he did also mention, it was like a violence-free event, and you know, it was just all good vibes and happiness, and he was so just encouraged by the support.
Love to see it, honestly. I do.
All right, well, closing up for me, the weather today is looking cloudy with some passing showers, yet a few sunny breaks, and I'm hoping it's more sunny than rain. These past couple of days have been really muggy out there. We have a high of 68 degrees as well, so, you know, to be mindful out there and hopefully enjoy the sun when it comes.
Indeed. Thank you, Maya. Larry, you've got some daily, not daily, right? The daily, days of the year. You know what I mean.
Yeah, they're trying to jam me up on my first day back.
Yeah.
We do. There's a few things, but today I'm going with, in the US, National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. So, to you guys and the audience, what is your best chocolate covered treat?
Almonds. Chocolate covered almonds. I'll go with that.
No.
This sounds romantic. Like everyone's probably thinking strawberries, but
yeah, I wasn't, but okay.
I think nuts. Like some form of nuts is all I would eat.
Nobody chocolate cake, chocolate icing. The audience is going to come up with it. I'm not a big chocolate fan. Hazelnut, or maybe some M&Ms, and that's about it.
What are peanut clusters?
Oh, like Reese's? I mean, that kind of counts, right? Because
like just a cluster of nuts, and then you chop it with
okay.
chocolate.
Like
Like
cream.
nuts too.
We've got chocolate covered
chocolate.
Nuts and raisins. We've got have a chocolate covered granola bar today. Okay.
Balance. Nice.
All right. Well, before you head out, we have quite a few prizes that were not claimed, right? So, Karen Simmons was last week's winner of the weekly prize. She didn't claim. We have a Linda's gift that wasn't claimed. We have a Noah's Ark gift certificate. No, Linda's wasn't claimed by Asrena 1. Medical Host wasn't claimed by OMZBDA. Noah's Ark wasn't claimed by FN Walker. And Nail Bar wasn't claimed by Sugarpool Ent. All these folks didn't claim their prizes. So you know what that means? That means this week.
My bag with the mugs, just slip them in.
Oh, right. Larry cannot complain that he doesn't have a mug anymore. He got mugs yesterday, and we'll talk about that on another show when he's not here. What we're going to do is we're going to, every day this week except today, because I'm telling you, we're going to do the, that thing that spins around for your names and stuff. What's it called?
Wheel of Fortune type situation?
Yeah, the hashtag thing, hashtag giveaway. We'll do that, and we'll see who's going to win the Noah's Ark, the Linda's, the Nail Bar, and Medical Host gift certificates. All right? Is that fair, Maya and Larry?
Sure.
I mean, I'm sure it's fair. We're going to give away something today or no?
No.
All right, well.
I got to make them come back tomorrow, Maya. Got to make them come back tomorrow.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Oh, Karen Simmons says, when did I win? You last week, Friday, you were in the draw twice because you got 2 questions right last week. And so your name was pulled on Friday to win last week's prize, which, that weekly prize. Nicole Walker says, I'm just getting back on the island. So I'm guessing she was FN Walker. Oh, my apologies. You were not here to claim your prize. See you. This. I feel bad, but this is funny.
I feel bad too. Like, dang.
Yeah.
What the Christmas holidays?
Do you accept any excuses? That's the one you, Jamal.
Mark and I like that's a Jamal thing.
The rules are the rules, folks. We gave everyone the rules. So you honestly, if your name was called and you didn't, I know Sheikah Rena had said the next day, oh, I listened to the whole show, and then I got up, someone, the maintenance man came or something, and yeah, gotta be tuned in. But we're gonna take a break. We've got a question for today. We're gonna have to see if Larry could get this, right? Since you're already here, you want to stick around and see if you could beat Larry to this? Because he is talking about you earlier.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna come back after this break. See if Maya, just so competitive. Like, just look at her. Like, just folks, don't go anywhere. We're gonna see if she could take out her old school teacher. 2 minutes 41 seconds. Stick with us.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did you say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lois Brown Evans? Where do you find that?
Mommy played Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy played Bermuda Trivia.
Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back, folks. Thanks again to all of you. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Thank you, Maya, for that extended news break this morning and the deep dive in as you did with the grocery store packing story, especially. Folks, if you haven't already, just do us a quick favor: like, love, share, follow, whatever platform you're on. Get this conversation in the hands of those you love. And well, those who don't love you as well. All right. I want to give a big shout out to the BAC group of companies, Lindo's, Medicals, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. Larry Marshall Jr., Maya Pelosi, myself, Jamal Hartman. It's time for the Daily Plate brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Apparently, they're almost out of the Black History version. There are only 50 editions of the Black History version left. So if you're looking for a stock and stuffer this summer, make sure I believe Brown & Co. has all the editions. I believe Robertson's has some, People's has some, but Brown & Co. is the one that has all the editions. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, this is not a Bermuda trivia question. It's holiday trivia. Are you both ready?
Sure.
Oh, no, bro. I think Maya's got you on this one, man.
Oh, it's a setup.
No. All right, here we go. In the song Frosty the Snowman, what made Frosty come to life?
I might as well play the music myself because I don't know.
I know. They put a hat on his head.
The music was low, Jamal. Come on.
I know the music was low. It sounded like a faint little.
No, I turned it down. I literally turned it down because I want to hear you guys. But you.
Oh. Well,
yeah,
I was talking about the winning song.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think he could hear that it's like not even nothing.
Oh, you hear?
No, it's okay. Anyway, I won though, right?
Okay.
Hold on, Maya. Hold on.
Not Maya, you got it correct.
The odds were stacked against me. I'm gonna say that.
And it was still cat. Yeah, I felt she would get that one. I felt she'd get that one. Barb, I mean, you said. Early in the show, you were just bragging about how you got the day to play, and you just let Maya welcome you back like that, bro.
At the end of the day, you will face adversities, and I'll just bounce back.
All right, fair enough. All right, final thoughts. Today's conversation on the cooperative grocery store. Maya, did you want to add anything to that?
Just that I'm excited to try to figure out some more research on it to bring back to the show about how it's doing in other places and how it might look in Bermuda.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Larry.
First of all, good to be back, guys. Thank you to the audience. You made me feel comfortable. A couple of people agreed with me, which helps your help you to relax. I guess I could share that. But with respect to the grocery store co-op, I love idea of a grocery store co-op. I want government to be a place that has a fertile ground for investment for businesses to invest in. Them running the helm at it, I'm not for it, and I think we covered that. And I think at this time we have to be careful about the things that are being proposed and the timing. With this co-op, we just got on Friday. The premier talked about 45 million of tax cuts. It's an election next year, folks, and the look what I'm doing, the carrot being dangled, all those things are gonna come out, and you just have to be mindful of it. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or a good thing, but just be mindful.
Yeah, I thank you both for that, and Maya, for going to investigate to see where it has worked. I don't know if you guys have heard about Singapore, how it went from a very poor nation to one of the most successful economic nations today. Um, I think Argentina just announced as well that they have a surplus for the first time in 123 years. When Maya says that she's going to see where this has worked, I automatically think of countries that were on the brink, that found a way to find economic success over a period of time. I think the government, as incompetent as they may come across, I do think that they look at what has been successful in other places. I think our challenge is how to execute. I think that's what we're challenged with: how to execute and make those things work for us. Whether or not the government should be involved in this space, they haven't proven to me as a Bermudian that they can be successful in anything outside of winning an election. And that's not me being angry, upset, or trying to be childish. They're very good at winning elections. What Bermudians want to see is you being very good, as Larry just said, creating policies and legislation that allows for investment that's not going to eliminate or eradicate Bermudians, our culture, and overall who we are. So I'm watching closely, but what I will say to the public, expect a lot more of this, because what did Larry say? It's an election year. Eyes wide open. You have some daily inspiration for us, Larry?
I do, and this is from Olympic champion Jessica Ennis Hill. I always believed, and when you do that, life can get unbelievable.
I like that. Appreciate it. All right, folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. Maya Palacio, Larry Marshall Jr., I'm Jamal Hartman. Don't forget, we've got some giveaways tomorrow through Friday. All right? Make it a safe and a great day. See ya tomorrow. We are is out. Peace.